Hey guys, I'm here with the my video review of Captain America: Civil War. I just woke up, and first part of this video is going to be non-spoilers, and then I'm going to do a spoiler part because I want to talk about everything, and I don't want to do two separate videos. Um, so here we go with the first part, and then I'll give you a warning if you haven't seen it. Then you can um, stop the video and then go see the movie and come back and watch this. Um, but the movie was really, really good. Um, uh, I mean, just every part of it was good. The cast, the directing, the writing, the editing, the camera work. I mean, it looked amazing. Everything was good. You know, the CGI that was in it was good. I couldn't even tell that was CGI. I'm sure there was stuff that was in there was. I mean, I'm sure there was stuff that was in there was CGI, of course. But I mean, it looked so good that I couldn't. You know, I wasn't like, oh man, that looks fake. Um, because it's gotten to a point where CGI has gotten so good that I can't tell. You know what's real. Like some of the times I can't tell what's real and what's not real, or what they've enhanced or not enhanced with CGI. But it's a really good movie. All the characters are awesome. Um, Spider-Man and Black Panther are awesome. Ant-Man, Iron Man, Captain America, of course. You know, great acting all around the table. Uh, Winter Soldier, Bucky, he's awesome. Um, Everybody's just awesome. Everybody has their time to shine. Scarlett Johansson kicks ass as Black Widow, of course, like she always does. Scarlet Witch, Elizabeth Olsen tearing it up as Wanda Maximoff. Vision was cool. Again, you know, just like he was in Age of Ultron. I mean, everybody's awesome. And there's two credit scenes. So when the first credit scene happens, like the mid-credit scene, when that happens, don't leave, don't get up right after that. Because there's a credit scene all the way at the end of the credits. There's an end credit scene. Yeah, great movie. Definitely one of my new favorite Marvel movies. It's getting to the point that I have so many favorites, and you know, my friend wants me to rank them, and I can't rank them. I'm like, I love them all, so it's like I want to put like all these movies in first place. Like I'll give all these movies a tie in first place because I don't want to, you know, say like, oh well, you like that one better than that one, or that one better than that one. I love all the Marvel movies. The only one that the only Marvel Studios film. I'm not talking about Marvel movies that are owned by other companies like Sony or 20th Century Fox. I'm talking about Marvel Studios Disney movies. Um, I love all those. The only one that kind of let me down a little bit was Iron Man 3, and even that movie has some enjoyability to be had, or enjoyment to be had. So, now I think I'm going to talk about the spoilers. So if you have not seen the movie yet and you do not want to be spoiled, then stop this video and then come back and look into your history after you've seen the movie. Look into your video history or your watch history of videos that you've watched, and watch my video again completely so you can enjoy it. Because I know you guys just love my videos. But okay, spoiler warning. Spoiler warning, spoiler warning, spoiler warning. 1, 2, 3, spoilers. Okay. Spider-Man was awesome in the airport fight scene. The way he was webbing up everybody, and the way Tony came to his house and met with Marissa Tomei, who is an awesome Aunt May. I mean, yeah, she's younger, but so is Peter. Peter's younger too. So I mean, it only makes sense that if Peter's younger, then Aunt May would be younger. And Robert Downey Jr., but Tony Stark was all hitting on her kind of, and so it was kind of funny because he kept kind of mentioning the fact that she was like an attractive aunt, and she wasn't old or anything. And that was funny because it was kind of like how the audience was kind of feeling, or they kind of like wrote it to where, the audience is going to be like kind of thrown off that she's not old and has white hair or anything like that. But I mean, I didn't bother me. It didn't bother me when she was announced as Aunt May, and it doesn't bother me now. And she was good, and Tom Holland was great as Peter Parker slash Spider-Man, and all the stuff with Spider-Man, which is great. I can't wait for the Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man Homecoming. Can't wait for that. Um, what else? Ant-Man, Paul Rudd is so funny. Um, and the airport scene, he turns into Giant Man. It's so crazy, and he's like, picking up stuff and ripping off the wing of a plane and using it as like a sword, and like stepping at people, and it's just crazy. And then Spider-Man does an Empire Strikes Back reference, and he calls it a really old movie, and then he ties up Batman's like him and I think War Machine and Iron Man, like, no, Spider-Man ties up Ant-Man's legs or Giant Man's legs, and War Machine and Iron Man like punch uppercut Giant Man in the face, or Ant-Man in the face, and he falls down. But that's how they beat him. But like, it was crazy. It was so awesome. Like, that was the one spoiler I already knew about. But I mean, it didn't like spoil the movie for me. It just made me that much more excited for the movie because that was going to happen. Because I wanted that to happen in the Ant-Man movie, and I was like, maybe that'll happen in the Ant-Man sequel. Or I was hoping that he would turn into Giant Man, like in a credit scene for Ant-Man. But it's just so awesome. Ant-Man was awesome. Black Panther is really great. Chadwick Boseman, I believe his name is, did an awesome job as T'Challa and Black Panther. And can't wait to see his movie. I mean, he looks awesome. He's like badass. He like steals the movie. Black Panther and Spider-Man almost steal the movie, basically. But I mean, I think at its core, it's still a Captain America movie. So I mean, it didn't get overtaken. Even though there was all these characters, it didn't really get overtaken by all that. Although, like, oh my gosh, it's awesome. I mean, it's awesome. But I mean, it doesn't overtake the movie to the point where you're like, oh, there's so many characters. It doesn't feel like Captain America movie. It just feels like Avengers 2.0. It does kind of for a while. Like, it feels like an Avengers movie for a little while. But I mean, or in some parts it feels like an Avengers movie. But at its core, it's a Captain America movie. Because it's all about Captain America and Bucky and stuff like that. But I mean, everybody's awesome. The crazy fight at the end. They go to this base because they find out that they made more Winter Soldiers, super soldiers like Bucky, and they can be controlled by like this book where you say these words, and then those people are under your control, like all those super soldiers, like Bucky, like Zemo is the bad guy in the movie, and he does that with Bucky, and he's looking for this video of this car crash where Bucky has to go get this stuff, I guess. They showed it at the beginning of the movie, but then they keep going back to it, and Zemo's trying to find this video from 1991, and it turns out that the people that are in the car that crashed were Tony Stark's parents, and Bucky, or Winter Soldier, who he was at the time in 1991, was told to not leave any witnesses. So he's the one that kills Tony's mom, Tony's dad, and Tony's mom. And it wasn't a car crash. And I kind of thought that was implied in Winter Soldier, like accidents will happen, and then they kind of like flash to Bucky or to Winter Soldier. I thought in that one part where, in Winter Soldier, where Captain America and Black Widow are talking to Zoloff, or the computer program that Zoloff, or whatever his name is, Zola or whatever. Not Zoloff, that's like probably is the drug. But I thought that was hinted at, but maybe it wasn't. Or I thought that was implied in Winter Soldier, but maybe it wasn't. But they show that he kills Tony's parents, and Tony's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna kill you now. And there starts a big fight because Tony wants to kill Bucky, and Captain America's trying to protect Bucky. And there's this big fight between all three of them, and it's crazy. And Iron Man shoots off Bucky's arm, his metal arm, and then Cap's got to go crazy on him, and he like he hits Tony repeatedly with his shield in his face and knocks the Iron Man helmet off his face, and like you think he's gonna like chop his head off with the shield, but he doesn't do it. He just stops, and it's crazy. And like it's so crazy because like in Age of Ultron, Tony's like, I don't trust a guy that doesn't have a dark side, and Captain America's like, maybe you haven't seen it yet. So I mean, this is crazy. Showed Captain America kind of showed his dark side a little bit, but that was crazy. That whole end fight where they almost killed each other, and then the credit scene. The credit scene is crazy. Where okay, the whole thing started because Scarlet Witch, they were fighting Crossbones in Africa, I think it was, and it was Scarlet Witch, Falcon, Black Widow, Captain America, and Captain America was fighting Crossbones, and Crossbones was going to blow himself up to kill everybody, and Captain America, and Scarlet Witch like contained the explosion with her powers, and like tries to throw him up in the air, but she doesn't get him up high enough, and it hits a build. It explodes part of a building with people. There were people in it, and then that's the thing that starts the whole like Sokovia Accords, which is basically the Registration Act that they had in the comics, where they want the superheroes to work for the government, and everybody who doesn't work for it gets put in this underwater prison called the Raft. So I mean, after the airport battle, Bucky and Captain America get away, but everybody else kind of uses themselves as a distraction for the other team, for Iron Man's team, and so they all like get arrested and put in the Raft. So like they're all in jail, everybody, and but then they get released at the end of the movie. Captain America goes there and releases them. But it's crazy. It's a good movie. It's awesome. I love it. Can't wait to see it again. Can't wait to own it on Blu-ray. Definitely. It's a really, really good movie, and highly recommend you go see it. And okay, the credit scenes. They're the first one. The mid-credit scene is that they're in Wakanda, and they're Captain America's there and Bucky's there. And they put him back under cryo sleep, or whatever you want to call it, because he can't be trusted. Bucky doesn't want himself to be turned into a weapon again, and so until the time that they can get all that stuff that's in his head out, he wants to be cryo freezed again. So they do that, and Captain America's like, that people are going to come, if people find out that he's here, that they're going to, come after him, and, you might have trouble. And Black Panther's like, or T'Challa's like, I'd like to see them try. And then it like goes out into the wood. You see like they're in this massive jungle of Wakanda, but like, there's technology and stuff. And big buildings and stuff. Not big buildings, but I'm sure there is, but you only see the one building that they're in. But he pans out into the jungle, and you see a giant Black Panther statue, not a Black Panther, but of an actual panther. And it's like, poof, and it's like, yeah, Black Panther movie. And then the end credit scene is of Peter is in his room. Peter Parker's in his room, and he's messing around with his web shooter. And Aunt May's coming in, and there's something shining from his web shooter, and he doesn't know what it is, and he can't get it to stop. And Aunt May comes in, and he hides it like by putting his arm on his chest so the light doesn't shine everywhere. And she gives him like a ice pack for his eye because he's kind of beat up from. He says it's from like a bully, but it was really the fight with Captain America at the airport. And she's like, "Who hit you?" He's like, "Oh, some guy named Steve," and all this stuff. It's funny. And so then she leaves, and he's shining his web shooter up on the ceiling, and it's like, you know, the Spider-Man symbol, you know, the Spider-Man eyes and stuff, and then there's like this stuff around it. Like, it looks like these little options that he could choose to, like, maybe enhance his suit or maybe change the look of his suit. I'm sure it's like some sort of crazy technology that Tony put into the suit that's gonna make it awesome and stuff and help Spider-Man in his fight against crime. But I mean, and then it says Spider-Man will return. I like how it says, it doesn't say Captain America will return. It doesn't say the Avengers will return. It says Spider-Man will return in Spider-Man Homecoming. But yeah, it was an amazing movie. I loved every part of it. I can't really think of any flaws or anything's wrong with this movie, and it's definitely a million times better than Batman v Superman. But let me know what you guys think about the movie in the comment section below. And I will talk to you guys later, and go see Civil War, and peace out. Yeah.